have they actually formed an official club? Is there a Club of Rome style outfit going on that has all of these people within it?
I mean, there's all kinds of overlapping groups. The one that I've looked deeply into is called the Anthroposophical Society. Um, and that was started by Rudolf Steiner in the 1920s, I believe. And so Steiner was an influence on, an influence on Nazi Germany. He was one of the first organic farmers. Um, and then you have this whole group of people like Rachel Carson, who was influenced by Steiner, who influenced, the organic movement even further. These people are sort of the foundation of the organic food movement, which did start out as a mystical, cult, theosophical, um, fake religion, pagan religion, anti-science religion. Um, it sort of progressed into this, in the 1960s, we saw a lot of people don't realize this, but organic farming started as a very right-wing thing. It was back to the land and picked up by not by Nazi Germany. But in the 60s, after, World War II, and that became very out of out of vogue to be a Nazi, it was sort of rebranded for the left wing. And then you have all the hippie movement back to the land, so supposed progressive people who just want to live in right relationship with the earth. And you see the Age of Aquarius type people, all coming out of the 1960s and the anti-war movements. So now all this stuff is associated with more leftist kind of ideology, but it's always been tied to the right as well. And I'm somebody who I don't even like to look at this left-right bifurcation because I think it's meant to divide and conquer us as peoples of nations and international citizens, to find common ground. Um, but it's the same ideology that you see on the left and the right. This back to the land, basically become a peasant again, because what's the easiest thing to control? Is a peasant, right? Somebody who has to live off the land and spend most of their waking hours just providing enough calories to live, sustenance, right? And what happens is
Mhm.
when you're that vulnerable that you're living in such a precarious situation where you need every calorie and you need to work really hard to get every calorie. Well, you're more subject to things like famine, war, modes of control. So why on earth would we as free sovereign citizens want less control over our material relationship with the world? Like, don't we want more freedom to say, well, I all I had to do was go to the grocery store, buy my bread, and now I'm back home and I can work on the real issues. I can work on my mind. I can work on forming, a more perfect union, right? But they don't want us to be free to use our minds. They want us to take up all of our time worrying about where our next